So, welcome to today's daily analysis. Today is Wednesday, the 25th of January, 2017. It's 11 here in the UK. Okay, so let's do some analysis. Let's just get straight into it. Now, yesterday we had a few really good trades, which I missed all of. This week, I am naming, for me personally, the week of missed opportunities. I was way too cautious. I opted to wait for indecision to form yesterday, but yesterday, instead of indecision, we got big moves. So I missed a few trades, which we'll look at in a second. But there's also a few good trade opportunities today. Normally, when I do this analysis, I don't look at my charts beforehand because I like to go through my charts in the analysis and find the setups. I already know a few of the setups that we're going to see today in the analysis. So it is cheating a little bit. Well, it's not cheating, but I already know a few of the setups that are coming up. So we do have a few setups today that we're going to look at. All right, anyway. So yeah, we're going to look at every pair on this list. I said I know some of the setups coming up, but I don't know every single one because I haven't looked at every single chart. It's just a few of the trades posted to the forum, a few of the setups posted to the watch list. I checked them out. So we'll check out some of those. And yeah, let's get started. Euro USD, we don't really have anything forming on Euro USD right now. It's just bouncing from that same resistance area it was bouncing from earlier this week. So there's nothing really happening here, nothing tradable. Euro CAD, now Euro CAD, we had a trade from there yesterday. Now remember, yesterday I said that I was waiting for an additional indecision candle. Yeah, probably not the best move. I waited, and instead of getting an additional indecision candle, signaling a potential short trade, the short trade triggered and it went down. And yeah, it was a pretty good trade. Well, depends. Not everyone has closed it out yet. But you know, that's the cool thing about the strategy. I trade my strategy very cautiously. I am a very cautious trader, but not everyone who is trading my strategy needs to trade it cautiously. So a lot of people did take this trade. In fact, it was, one sec. It was posted to the forum, and yeah, a few people entered the trade. So is anyone in here? Did anyone in here in the room today get into this trade? Catherine, no. Hank missed it. Rob, no. Aziz is typing. Oh, you all missed it? Oh well, yeah, well, I skipped it. I didn't miss it. I skipped it because I was being overly cautious and I was waiting for more indecision. But it looks like a lot of people missed it, but a lot of people entered it too. Yeah, but Prez's target is down here, so it hasn't been hit yet. But anyway, looks like it's a good trade. If anyone is in it, anyone watching the analysis is in it, you should probably hold on to the trade. It is stalling right now, but yeah, it's not a major stall or anything. I wouldn't be surprised if it continues down. So yeah, looks like a good setup. I'm sad I missed it, but it happens. That's the price of being cautious. But there's also a good side to being cautious. It means that I take less failed trades. So I lose less trades, but it also means that I end up taking less trades that would have worked out anyway. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword, being cautious, and not everyone has to be as cautious as me with my strategy. So all right, New Zealand USD. New Zealand USD is in a similar position as yesterday. We're still getting indecision forming on the resistance area. It's still looking pretty good. It actually looks better than it looked yesterday, to be completely honest, because yesterday what I would have wanted to see would be a new low beyond the candle, and that would have been a low here. Today, if this candle closes like this, what I want to see is a new low beyond this candle, which is going to give us a better risk to reward ratio. The problem with this setup yesterday was that the risk to reward ratio was a bit, it wasn't really that great. But if we have an entry here, the risk to reward ratio is going to be a lot better. My stop loss would still be up there above the high of yesterday. Tend to be cautious with my stop losses, as everyone should be. That's not optional, like I was saying with the Euro CAD trade. It's optional if you want to be cautious and wait for further indecision, but stop losses, being cautious with them is not really optional. So my stop loss would still be here. Why am I drawing like this? May as well use this tool. So I would probably trade this something roughly like this if I wanted to enter this trade. Give me a good risk to reward ratio, 1.6. It's not the best. I prefer a risk to reward ratio of 2, but 1.6 is acceptable. My minimum is 1.5. So yeah, I would take the trade something like this. So what I would want to see is this candle closing and then the following candle starting to push down. Now that will give us a pretty decent risk to reward ratio. And the target would be here because of price stalling through there. See how price stalled here several times. We talked about this yesterday, so I don't want to go into too much detail about why my target would be there. But yeah, it's still looking pretty good. It's in fact looking better than it looked yesterday. So do keep an eye on New Zealand USD. Any questions about this setup? Ooh, look at it on the 12-hour. Looks quite good on the 12-hour. Definitely tempting to enter this. We are seeing signs of sellers weakening here. I mean, they have tried for 3 12-hour candles. So that's 36 hours. They have tried to break through this resistance area and they have consistently failed. So it does look pretty good. If we start seeing pushes down, I might enter. Now, I'm not, just to make it clear, I'm not going to jump in the second it hits this level. I do want to see a sign from sellers that they are taking control of price. So if the new candle pushes down to here, I'm not going to just jump in the second it breaks that level. You know, the trade might end up being something like this, something slightly different. But it will still have a pretty decent risk to reward ratio. My main point is that if we start seeing a push from sellers and they start moving down, I would want to enter somewhere below the low of today's candle, today's current candle. If it closes roughly as it is in tomorrow's candle, I'd want to enter beyond the low of this somewhere. But obviously, I know that sounds a little vague, but the problem is that this is a current open candle. I don't know how it's going to close. I don't know how it'll look like when it closes. So I can't really be more specific as to my entry and all that stuff. That's not something I can do because I don't know the future and I don't know how it's going to close. When it closes, then we can do some proper analysis on this setup. So right now, this is just a potential, or it's just a potential setup. You know, if it closes roughly like this, then we could look for an entry below the low of yesterday of today's candle. Make sense? Any questions? I see Hank is typing, so is my target always a hard target, or do I make a decision when it comes close to it? If I'm around and I'm watching the price approaching the target and it's moving really fast, there are many times where I'll remove my target and allow price to keep falling or keep rising through my target. It really just depends. if I'm around to watch it, then yeah, I might adjust the target depending on the price action at the time. Right, so, ooh, wow, what's CADJPY doing? That looks really good. I was totally surprised to see that just now. This, I actually wasn't surprised. I knew this was going to be here. You may have noticed I didn't have CADJPY on my list yesterday, but this was posted to the forum, to the watch list section. So I opened this up, I placed some support resistance, and I agree that this looks like a pretty awesome setup. So I am interested to potentially enter a trade here. So let's check out this setup and see how we would trade it if it does actually trigger. All right, so on the 12-hour, it's already looking pretty good. On the 8-hour, I guess it's looking pretty good, but I don't want to enter on the 8-hour. It's already kind of triggered almost on the 8-hour. Yeah, barely though, not really. 6-hour, 4-hour. So the point is, on the 4-hour, we see all these neat little indecision candles. We are seeing indecision forming on the resistance area. Price is stalling pretty heavily at this area. So yeah, on the 6-hour, on the 8-hour, so across the board, really, we're seeing just signs of indecision, price stalling on this resistance area. Now, I might be tempted to enter this on the 12-hour actually, or the daily. The problem with the daily is we're going to need to wait for this indecision candle to close and then take the trade, you know, after it closes, which you know, means it might already move. It looks pretty decent on the 12-hour too. So yeah, I'm either going to take this on the 12-hour or the daily. Well, my plan is to either trade it on the 12-hour or the daily if it does trigger. So how would I trade this setup? It would probably be something like this. Keep in mind there is further analysis that I need to do to make sure that I want to enter this setup, but as of right now, it would be something roughly like that. Entry might be a little higher. I might be able to get in on a slight retrace if it pulls up a little bit, something like that. But this is just a rough idea of how I would want to take this trade. It has a good risk to reward ratio. It doesn't have much in its way. I mean, if you take a quick look to the left, we see some disruption there, some here, but it's nothing too major. I don't think there'll be that much of a problem with price moving down through here. Yeah, I mean, I guess that could be a bit of a problem, but yeah, I try not to get too wrapped up on stuff like that. Overall, this looks pretty decent. So I am definitely interested in taking a short here on CADJPY. CADJPY is not a pair I often trade, but you know, I'm willing to jump in short if it does make its move, because overall we do have a downtrend here. So this would be a continuation reversal. It'd be part of this kind of newly forming downtrend. It's a strong resistance area. It all looks pretty good.